Oh my gosh. RWBY Volume 2. That's all I have to say. Honestly, this review is over. Oh, you wanted more? Alright. Before we get into this, I will tell you that there will be spoilers from RWBY Volume 1 and for Volume 2. So, if you don't want any spoilers, go watch that and then you can rejoin us later. Okay? That's just how life works. If you don't care, however, then by all means, watch on. Before I jump into the actual review of the story, I'm just going to tell you that episode 1 was like... In the very first 5 minutes, we get way more story development and character development of the villains than we got in pretty much the entire first volume. This is just remarkable. You meet Emerald, you meet Mercury, you find out that they're working with the White Fang, they assassinate someone. Like, it's just it's insane. Okay, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The food fight. There was so much development just in the food fight. It showed the character development over the small gap of time before from the end of Volume 1 to the start of Volume 2. It shows that they've worked on their teamwork and their individual skills. And it's just a food fight. It's supposed to be funny, which it definitely was. And boy, let me tell you, I was getting a really big kick out of it.
Justice will be swift! Justice will be painful! It will be delicious!
The parallels between Volume 1, Episode 1 and Volume 2, Episode 1, it's crazy. I don't know if they planned this ahead or if they're taking it one step at a time, but the fact that it starts out in Volume 1, Episode 1 with RWBY stopping a robbery from the same shop that you see in Volume 2, Episode 1. And then in Volume 2, Episode 1, you see Emerald stealing from the shop owner. It's just, I don't know if they thought that was some kind of joke or what, but it was wonderful. But the best part is, it didn't just stop at Episode 1. No, each episode that came after the other, it had more story development, more character development, more villain plot development. It's crazy how much they improved over last season. Along with the character development and plot development, all that stuff, you had the... is it dichotomy? Is that the word for it? Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna look this up really quick. What was I saying?
Oh my gosh.
Along with the plot progression, you have the dichotomy between the teachers and the headmasters and all that stuff up over here trying to figure out what's going on. They have an inkling of what's going on and they're trying to figure it out. But then you also have the main students, the Team RWBY, Team Juniper, who are also trying to figure it out. And if you ask me, I would say Team RWBY got it nailed down, man. They're the ones who practically solved the mystery. When you eventually got to the climax, you felt what was going on. You felt the situation because you just went with these characters along the entire storyline. You went with them to try and figure out what was going on. And then when you eventually found out what was going on and it was too late, you felt that dread. And when the Grimm started coming out of the tunnel, you knew exactly what was going on. You knew why they were there. And it was not something that they just put in 2 episodes before the ending as some kind of big climax like they did in Volume 1, which I liked, but this one felt earned. It felt like you knew exactly what was going on. You knew why it was going on. And you didn't know how they were going to get out of this situation, which was absolutely wonderful writing, honestly. When Team Coffee jumped down from that helicopter and started saving the day with the song Caffeine going, I was going crazy. I was flipping out. Like, the leader beat someone with a purse. A purse. And then, on top of that, she turned it into a machine gun. When I found that out, I just lost it. The point I'm trying to make is that the writing improved, the character development improved, and the story improved. Everything felt earned, it was well paced, and they just did a absolute 100% better job this volume than they did last volume. So good job, Rooster Teeth. That was fantastic. Next, we have the character development. All of the characters that they added this season, plus our original cast. I can't even begin to list how many new characters they added, and I thought, going into this, that they were just going to kind of slow down on the character development of our main two teams and all the people that we know, to focus more on the new characters for development. But I was wrong. Not only did they wonderfully execute the character development for our new cast of characters like Neptune, Team Coffee, all of them. They did such a good job at that, but then they also focused a lot on our two main teams. Hell, I never thought that I would need any character development for Professor...
It's Dr. Oobleck. I didn't earn the PhD for fun, thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Dr. Oobleck. But it was welcome. I loved it. I loved the fact that we got to know him a little bit more, and they went on that awesome train scene. Like, when he hit Svi like a baseball, that was one of my favorite scenes of the volume, honestly. And then the train scene kind of reminded me of Spider-Man when he was going, ah! I will tell you that the best character development that we got for our main cast of RWBY, apart from RWBY herself, was, I think it was episode 9, when they were camping out. Professor Dr. Oobleck decided that he wanted to ask them all why they wanted to become huntresses. And they gave their normal answers, but then later on they were reflecting on it and they're like, wait, that's not entirely why I wanted to become a huntress. That was just kind of the first thing that came to mind, which is so true to real life. Someone can ask you what you want to be when you're older. Yeah, I want to be a professor. Well, why? I don't know, I like kids. But there's more to it than that. Generally, you have a desire to teach English, or a desire for history, or you want to help improve the youth so that way they can make better things. They can go on to do fantastic things with their life. It isn't just, oh, I like kids, but that's immediately what you would say. So I absolutely loved the realistic characterization of our main cast of characters. Overall, I would say the character development did not need to get better in any way. But it did. It got 3 times better. Not just with our main cast of characters, but all of the new characters that we got introduced to. And even the side characters. They did such a good job on that. And I know I keep saying it, but they improved on pretty much everything this volume. If they keep doing this, I'm not sure I'm going to even be able to make it to Volume 7. Overall, this volume was amazing. Like, I can't even stress that enough. It was such an amazing... They improved on so many things. They improved on the storytelling. They improved on the villains' plots. They improved on the character development. They introduced so many new characters. One small thing to note is that they even increased the graphics a little bit. They looked a little bit, granted it wasn't a lot, but they looked a little bit better than what it did last volume, which is, I mean, it's a step in the right direction. And I know from watching the promotional stuff for Volume 7 that it does get better. It keeps getting better, One thing I'll say is that I really like the fact that they improved the story. This helped the characters develop in a more natural way. Having great characters is fantastic. Like, I would love watching them. But the issue is they had, the surroundings were just boring. It was all new in the first few episodes, but I just couldn't get too attached to them. And having a great story helped them develop into the fantastic characters that they did this volume. They found a perfect blend between character development and storyline. And honestly, this is what they should have done from volume 1. I'll also say, the fight scenes, guys. The fight scenes were absolutely amazing. I'm running out of adjectives. I don't even know how to describe it. The choreography of this was just out of this world. They did such a good job. One thing I'll gripe on is some of the camera angles were a little bit weird, but that's a very small gripe in comparison to like the choreography and everything. They did such a fantastic job. And then the score and the soundtrack was just amazing. It really put you into the mood. And the storyline pushing these characters into this action scene, you really felt what they were feeling at that moment in time. And it made it even more exciting for me. The one thing I'll tell you is that mech fight had me like on the edge of my seat. I was reeling from it. I was even acting along with Yang while she was punching the mech. Honestly, I just rewatched it like 4 times and I'm still just amped up from it. I just want to go fight. Actually, you know what? I can't even wait any longer. I'm gonna go watch Volume 3 right now. This review's over. It was fantastic, but that's it. Yep, bye guys. I was serious. Adios, partners.